Artemus Toast here, and you know, I guess I'm trying to put into words kind of this epiphany that recently hit me regarding making music and my music output and creative process and or lack thereof, etc. Um, you know, I was trying to figure out, I guess how or um, why I've been, my own biggest hurdle in this process. Um, I make these little uh, music pieces to go along with the video uploads that I make that don't take a lot of time. Basically, what I'll do, and I believe I've explained this in the past, but using FL Studio 12, uh, my Akai MPK 25, it's back there. Uh, you know, um, General chord progressions. You know, uh, picking a tempo out of thin air, and I make a simple music piece out of it. I'll use like maybe three keyboard voices, one bass voice. You know, uh, Now I've been using the citrus uh, voices. Once again through the FL Studio. Um, Played on the Akai MPK 25, and then almost always in the same song structure, just to make a really quick, you know, background music piece to go with some of the, just random uploads that I do. Once again, this is a hobby. It keeps me busy. Trying to learn something new. I'm already world's greatest guitarist. I'm getting into this whole MIDI keyboard thing. Um, Several times over the past 2 years, and it'll be 2 years exactly since my first upload on the 15th. Um, but anyway, like throughout that time, I've always, spoke of creating an EP, which has always been my intention, you know, uh, from the get go. Um, but I comically make jokes about it, or have throughout the past couple years, um, you know. But I came to a realization, that um, I'm afraid. Not that I'm afraid of the finished product, or not that I'm afraid of opinions of the finished product, or criticism, or anything of that nature. Um, but you know it will be a goal that becomes accomplished, and I'm afraid that um, I'll be done, um, which is often the case. I've noticed, like, throughout my life. I want something, for example, I may want a car really bad. I'll work hard. I'll save the money. I'll get that car. um, you know, and then I guess the excitement starts where I'll modify that car, I'll add parts to that car, I'll create a finished product, um, and then I grow bored of it. I no longer, um, I guess, have the drive. Once it's complete. I can think of several examples, along the same lines. Recently, a couple months ago, for the longest time, I really wanted a Mavic Air drone. And I found out that I'm a couple years too late on that because, uh, I guess, the restrictions to fly them are much stricter now than they were a couple years ago, and you know that's part of it. I mean, but now that I have it, you know, it's collecting dust, you know, um, and well, going back to what I was saying, you know, is I'm afraid that is going to happen when I, you know, finally finish, you know, my long term goal of, you know, creating an EP or you know some form of complete album. Um, Over the years, I've been making music. I purposely erased a lot of it. Um, I've started over countless times. You know, sometimes I'll work on something, you know, for a week, and then I'll just throw it away by, you know, using it as a background music for, you know, some random upload I make. Um, you know, I have years of words, years of ideas and outlines and you know pieces where the drum and bass tracks are already laid, words are already written. You know, it's just I find myself. I guess just you know always wanting to start over because once again I've come to the realization that I'm afraid of the not of the end product itself, but I'm afraid that you know once that's checked off a list of things I've done, I'll no longer have the desire or drive or passion to do it any longer. Um, I know I give an example of a car, but you know, in a lot of things in my life, you know, once the goal's been reached, you know, I'm like, okay, what's next? You know, and being such an you know avid fan of music and you know loving to play, loving to learn about it, and you know create my own. And the ability to do just that, you know, with you know, with the convenience of technology. Um, you know, it's just once again, you know, I'm afraid to get bored of it. Um, but you know, at the same time, you know, I think it's more important to me to you know fulfill you know whatever goals. Or challenges I give to myself. You know, so I guess I'll carry on, but you know, and eventually I hope to have a complete project done, um, which you know, once again, that was ultimately my goal from the start. So. Anyway, you know, just one of those, once again, one of those, you know, epiphanies, one of those moments where, you know, I always questioned, you know, why am I not working on this, or you know, why am I taking a couple days off, or, you know, it never felt forced, but, you know, I'd find myself, you know, playing a video game, or watching a movie instead of using time, you know. To work on something, but anyway, that's just I guess my whining, you know, I guess self justification as to why I haven't yet reached, you know, accomplishing that goal of you know making an EP, you know, making an album, so. Yeah, that's about what this was about. Artemus Toast out.